Hello again and welcome to Paul's Racing Channel and to our driver interview number 2. So we've got Rob this time, aka Vodka Rob, driving this beautiful red Lamborghini that you can see on your screen. So hopefully Rob is with us in the room. Say hello, Rob.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
There he is. So let's get on with this interview then. Thanks for coming, by the way. So
No
we've...
worries.
just tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of how you got yourself into URL, or was it through a friend or through our social media platforms?
It was through Facebook. I'd kind of got back into PlayStation around about 2019, I think, and done some F1. Because before I was doing PlayStation, I was just in mobile gaming, so I was playing F1 mobile racing for a few years and was quite good at it. I was like top 20 in the world.
Okay.
Um, but the game got taken over by EA, and EA did their usual uh,
Stuff.
turning it into a pay to win sort of game. So I moved back to PlayStation. That I hadn't played since PlayStation 1,
Wow.
and did some F1, then joined a league and did some F1 league racing for a while. Um, but I've always loved Gran Turismo, so I got into that and then saw the ad on Facebook and got chatting and got into the league that way. So
So you had a
it's
little
like
look,
me,
fancied it, and went for it. That's what I
yeah,
like to hear.
but it's my first sort of venture into league racing in
Okay.
in Gran Turismo.
Proper
So
league racing,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
That's good. So apart from that, then, I mean, what outside of sim racing, what sort of hobbies do you got? Any sort of hobbies in that you like?
No time for anything else really at the moment
Okay,
because I'm like
that's
a
fine.
carer for my mum, so
Oh,
I
okay.
look at my mum's disabled and I look after her, and then I've got my own health issues on top of that, so
Oh, fair
not
enough.
not a great deal of time for anything else really.
No, okay, no, well, that's that. There you
Mm,
go. Family
mm.
comes first, doesn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Mm.
coming in, vodka raw. But where does that come from? Is it something that you've had for a long time, or is it? Do you
Yeah,
like vodka, or do you hate vodka? Is that why you're?
it is an old nickname that came from drinking way too much vodka back in the day.
Okay, I guess that might be what
Vodka
it was.
Red Bull was my tipple, and it just got to a point where I would walk into the local pub that I went into all the time, and people would be like, "Oh, it's vodka Rob," like, and it just stuck. So I don't actually drink anymore, to be honest,
Well,
or
that's a good.
very rarely. So yeah, it's just
So
stuck,
he's just stuck
and I
with
just
you.
thought it sounded quite catchy as a tag name
Yeah, no,
for
it's a good one.
racing. So
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
good one. I've got to
Mm.
say. Um, so that Lambo, then, did you choose that car? Was it your teammate who chose it? Was it a joint effort? And how are you finding
Uh,
it?
yeah, joint effort. I did one race at the end of last season, and it was in the wet. Well, it was like I think it was like two races, like a sprint. So one was in the dry and one was in the wet. And I just thought, with it being a four-wheel drive, it seemed to handle quite well in the wet. And I don't even know if we've got any wet
I
races now,
don't know if we have actually.
but that was part of the decision. Was like I know the rear-wheel drive cars can be a nightmare in the wet, so
Yeah.
that sort of swayed it a little bit. But I do quite like driving it, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Um,
Well,
although I'm not without my mistakes,
no, well,
which have messed me up a little bit.
well, I
So,
think this takes me nicely on to the next question actually, and I think you've
mm,
kind of answered it already. You've had some mixed results. It's got to be fair over the first 4 rounds.
yeah, yeah.
However, you have had some really good grid positions. So you're up there, like in your no. I think some points you've been up
Yeah,
top three on the
I
grid, but
can I can I can get
just sort of
my
fade at the
pace
end.
can be okay. My pace can be okay, and I think I'm prone to the odd like mistake, like on Sunday where the the Spa race. I went in, went to go into the pits. I've always hated this pit lane at Spa, even when I was doing F1. And I went into the pits, or was heading into the pits, and just smashed straight into the pit wall. So ended up not going into the pits and losing loads of time. And my pace wasn't that bad. To be honest, I think there's a gap. I think there's the top 5 or 6. It's like sort of two halves. There's like your top 5 or 6 are probably a good second or more ahead of the rest on
Yeah,
pace.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, and I think was the fastest lap the other night at 27.1 or something, and I
It,
think my best was a
I think
28.8,
you're right. Yeah,
which is a good, like, over a second slower.
yeah.
But and then
So,
my other issue was that I got a little bit muddled on what the tire situation was. I thought, because it was like mandatory, you had to use the hards for two
for 2
laps.
laps.
I thought you had to pit. I didn't realise you could do the whole race on hards,
Right.
which if I'd have stayed out, I probably would have been good for P7
Well, I think a couple of the
maybe.
guys did do
Um,
hards all the way, didn't they? I think I can't
yeah,
remember who it was.
yeah.
Thingamajig, I think, was one of them.
Thingamage, yeah. Well, I was in a battle with him for quite a lot of the race, but my pace was just slightly better than him.
Right.
And I got past and then pitted, and so I dropped about 3 or 4 places. Managed to get a couple back, I think.
Well, you
But
know what to do in the next enduro, then, don't you?
yeah, yeah. But having said that, though, I do wish, in retrospect, I wish I'd started on softs,
Right.
because they're that much quicker, really.
Yeah,
I
they are.
mean,
Yeah.
I did the 28.8
I mean, they don't
on
last as long, but
softs when
yeah.
it was like 30s over, probably 31s, 32s on the hards, and you're losing a hell of a lot of time like that, aren't you? Really?
Well, look, if
So
it's any consolation, I did exactly the same as what you did with the pit wall. So there you go.
yeah,
It took me about 5 minutes to get off of that wall and then get
yeah.
into the
It's a
pit lane. Which,
horrible pit lane there,
but
isn't
by
it,
then I was
Spa?
like
Yeah,
down in 11th or something silly. So anyway, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
don't worry, everyone does it. So
yeah, yeah.
I think I think you've answered this, but shorter races or longer races? What's your the longer enduros? What's your preference really?
I think probably I would say the longer races,
Okay.
just for the simple reason, if because I'm not one of the faster guys, and I know I'm not. I pride myself on being clean and fair and everything, but I know I'm not like up there with the top lads.
Yeah, but
But
if you've only just started doing this kind of racing, then it's going
yeah,
to take you a
yeah,
little bit of time to get into the
yeah,
groove and get into
yeah.
used to that sort of stuff. So
But at the same time, lacking that little bit of confidence when you have the reverse grid and you're starting from the front because you've done badly in the first race, it can be a little bit daunting sort of thing, being ahead and having all the
yeah, I know what
faster
you mean,
guys
but again,
behind
that
you.
comes with time. That
Um, yeah,
the
yeah,
more the longer you
yeah,
continue and do the races, you'll get used to
yeah.
that. You'll get used to that.
And the other thing was, when I started, when I joined this league, I'd only just got VR. So my first race was the first time I'd really raced with VR as
Oh, so
well.
you
So
do you race with VR then?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, I was going to ask
Um,
you what the final question was actually going to be. Is it a rig or a pad that you use? So, but if you use
Yeah,
a
well,
VR, then
I started off with the usual, the G29. I've always, even back when I had a PS1 and I got Gran Turismo 1, I had one of them nasty cheap wheels that had no force feedback or anything. But I've never really liked using the pad at all. So
no.
that feels totally alien to me. I've always had a wheel, but I got the G29, and then I've gradually just got the bug and upgraded, and now I've got a DD Pro, V3 wheel, V3 pedals, and the F1 limited edition wheel.
Oh, so you've gone really high speed. That's really good. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it doesn't help me a great deal with my pace, but I think I was actually
Hey,
faster when I had the
look,
G29. But yeah,
it'll
the,
come, mate. I'm not fastest either, but
yeah,
you just have to.
yeah,
It's not about
yeah.
being fast all the time. It's about being consistent a lot of the time.
It's the fun of it,
Yeah,
and like I even though I didn't finish well on Sunday, I really enjoyed it because I had a good battle with Thingamy, and I did in not the race before, that was Brands, and I'm terrible round there, but the one before that was at Deep Forest. I had a good battle with him then again,
yeah. I
and
think you get your best
that's the
results
fun of
around there.
it.
I think you got your
Yeah,
best results.
yeah,
I think it was an eighth and a
yeah,
ninth around there that
yeah,
you got. So
yeah.
yeah,
Um, so and
excellent.
so long as you're having some battles and it's you enjoying it, it's good fun, isn't
That
it?
is the main
Really.
thing.
So that's yeah.
Well, that's it then, mate. Look, thank you
Mm,
for joining me. I wish you
yep,
all the
no
best of
worries.
luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
Obviously,
hopefully I
I'm
can.
covering your league, so obviously I'll be watching how you get on.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully I can improve
hopefully
on those strategies.
you'll. Well, I'll be watching out. Don't worry.
Mm,
But yeah, don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah.
All right. Well, look.
Mm,
Thank you again. Thanks for your
yep,
time,
no
and
worries. Thanks,
I'll
Rob.
hopefully catch up with you again some point here in the room. And yeah, good luck.
Yep. Cheers. Thank
All right
you.
then. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Ta-da.